Trucks are underway now, a few pace laps. Let's take a look at today's. We're going to take a look at today's starting lineup here in just a moment. This is the first of 4 pace laps that the trucks will be on. Beautiful, clear, sunny skies, as I said. Now here's that grid. On row 1, qualifying first position, Bill Sedgwick in the Spears Manufacturing Chevrolet. On the outside of row 1, truck number 61, Todd Bodine. That's the Roush Performance Products Ford. In row 2 is Michael Dawkin, youngster from Florida. He's great qualifying run for him in his Clearwater Linen and Uniform Chevrolet. On the outside, Winston Cup veteran Ken Schrader will start 4th. In the 3rd row, Mike Bliss picked up the first series win a couple of weeks ago in North Wilkesboro, North Carolina. He'll go off 5th and 6th on the outside of row 3. Joe Rutman currently 2nd in the points in the 1-800 Collect Ford. In row 4, that's Jeff Bodine, the Exide Batteries Ford. On the outside of row 4, Ron Hornaday in the Papa John Pizzas Chevrolet. Row 5, that's Rick Corelli. He's in the Total Petroleum Chevrolet. Mike Skinner in the GM Goodrich Chevrolet. He is the points leader. Mike goes off in 10th, trying to protect that points lead today. Row 6, reigning or current Busch Grand National points leader, Johnny Benson. He's made several truck starts this year, always a threat. On the outside of row 6, Butch Miller in his Ford. In row 7, truck number 38, the Channel Lock Ford of Sammy Swindell. On the outside of row number 7, number 83, Steve Portengay. Row number 8, Mike Chase. He is the reigning Winston West champion. He's got a lot of victories here at Bakersfield. Starting on the outside of row number 8, road racing veteran Scott Lagacy. Great run last week in Sears Point. He finished 4th. And in the 9th row, off-road racing expert Roger Mears. Roger's only made a few truck starts this year, this being one of them. He has had experience here at Bakersfield. On the outside of him, longtime Southwest Tour veteran Ron Esau. In the 10th row will be Jack Sprague in the Budweiser Chevrolet. Going off on the outside of 10th row in the 20th position, Garrett Evans. He's a Northwest Tour champion in NASCAR. Has run a lot of Winston West races this year. Row number 11, that's Supercross champion, 8-time Supercross champion Rick Johnson in his first ever truck start. On the outside of row 11, this guy needs no introduction, Ernie Irvin in the number 28 Ford. Row number 12 in the Ortho Lawn and Garden Care Ford, that's Toby Butler. He was 5th last week at Sears Point. On the outside of row 12, John Nemechek in his Chevrolet. Row 13 will be Bob Breback. That's number 4. He's in a Ford. John Kinder, one of the youngest drivers in the field. Number 14. He's on the outside of row 13. Row 14, youngster Kevin Harvick. On the outside of row 14, Wayne Jackson from Las Vegas, Nevada in the Chevrolet. In the 15th row, Southwest Tour veteran Carlos Serrano. On the outside of 15 is Jimmy Dick. And in the 16th row, Walker Evans and TJ Clark. Row 17, Kenny Allen from Shelby, North Carolina. Bringing up the rear, Ray Daniels. Chevrolet number 34. Row 18, that's Mike Hurlbut in the Ford number 11, and George Tallis. Let's take a look at the in-truck cameras we have today. First, we'll be seeing pictures from Rick Corelli. You're seeing out the front of the truck, obviously. This is what Rick sees. Now, this is the roof cam from above the truck of Corelli. Now, let's take a look out the rear. We call this maybe the doggy cam. You can see what's coming up behind Corelli. Now let's go also to Joe Rutman. You see the 1-800 Collect. This is straight ahead. And we're getting ready for the start of the race. We'll come down and the green flag is flying. Good clean start so far, Larry. You see, you can see the cars, the trucks. I already said it. Blew it one time. You can see the trucks trying to stay in line. A little bit of a bunch up off the corner there. You can see Todd Bodine in the truck number 61. That's a Ford. He's on the outside of Bill Sedgwick's pole-sitting Chevrolet. Ooh, trouble. That's Schrader. Everybody taking evasive action. You see the number 52 truck of Ken Schrader there, the AC Delco Chevrolet. He's trying to get back on the track. Caution flag is not out. But there was no contact, but Schrader has lost a lot of ground. Sedgwick is coming up close behind him now. Schrader going into turn 3.
You know, Glenn, what you got to remember, again, as we've talked, grip and adhesion of these tires is so important. I'm going to say these trucks probably started their air pressure real low, and that makes them really want to be loose in the beginning of a run.
Let's take a look and see what happened to Ken Schrader earlier. Look at that 3 wide. Ron Hornaday gets up the racetrack as Joe Rutman gets under him. Hornaday gets out of shape. Schrader's okay there. That was going down the front stretch. That was off of turn 4. Now watch what happens when they go into turn 1 here. Schrader up on the outside, absolutely nowhere to go. Mike Skinner caught in a squeeze there with Rick Corelli under him. Contact was made, absolutely incidental, but boy, as it cost Schrader.
And I don't believe that's where Mike Skinner wanted to be this early in this race.
No, I agree. But he was really just trying to mind his own business there, and with Corelli up under, he had nowhere to go. Now we're looking at the battles going on. You see number 2, that's Mike Bliss. As I said earlier, he won a race a couple of weeks ago, and the caution has come out. We've got some debris on the racetrack. We'll get that cleared up, get things sorted out here as the first caution waves. We'll be right back with continuing action here from Mesa Marin. Back in time for the restart. Stay tuned, don't go away. This is going to be a barn burner. Mesa Marin in the Spears 200, and you see Ken Schrader there exiting the pits. The caution came out because of debris on the racetrack when Schrader spun. Let's go down to the pits with Steve Burns for more on that story.
Glenn, I just talked to Timmy Cahuth, Ken's crew chief. He said right now the damage just appears to be cosmetic. However, there is sheet metal rubbing on the tires. Now, speaking of tires, Larry McReynolds can elaborate on this, but a lot of teams are concerned about how these tires are wearing. Jeff Bodine said before the race, these tires may only be good for 80 laps. It's not so much that the tires are wearing out, trucks are just going to slow down. Larry can elaborate on that.
That's right, Steve. Again, this is a type of tire and track condition that if you ever abuse these tires, if you ever slide the front end or the rear end, it's like it won't never come back. They've got to try to be patient. I think that's the key word here today, is for these drivers to be patient with their trucks. And, you know, when you look at Skinner and Ruttman and Hornaday, one thing that differs from the Winston Cup circuit, you don't have to get up there and lead a lap to get no bonus truck points, because they don't pay any bonus points. They only pay the points for how they finish.
All right, we get the field is getting the 1 to go signal. Larry, just to bring us up to date, the spin that Schrader took there, he's had a chance now under caution to cool things off, to look things over. Will that hurt the performance of his truck, provided there's no damage?
Well, as long as the toe in, I mean the configuration of the front wheels, as long as that didn't get knocked in or out. Normally at a track like this, they'll run maybe a 1/4 inch, meaning the front of the front tires will measure a 1/4 inch wider than the rear. That's the way we normally run it. As long as that didn't get knocked way in or way out, he probably would be just fine.
You're looking out the front class of Joe Ruttman in the 1-800 Collect Ford. You see right in front of him, Ron Hornaday. Hornaday in 5th position, Ruttman holding down 6th right now, and we're back underway. And already Hornaday jumps up on the outside there. He didn't waste any time at all, does he?
I was just fixing to say, it looked like these guys got the race started and they was content to run single file. It didn't take Hornaday long to get back up in there.
No, and we were talking about how a guy might have to take care of his tires later on for this truck race, but Hornaday knows if he's got a chance at all in this championship, he's got to take the thing to the front. We've got a truck spinning up in turn number 4. That's Wayne Jackson, truck number 58, and once again the caution is flown. So really kind of confusing to me, Larry. I expected to see these guys get single file and ride for a while, but that's not the way it is.
Well, you know, Glenn, you talked about it in the opening a little bit. Mike Skinner, he can be patient. He can take it easy. Hornaday, he's a lot of points down right now. He's got to get up there and try to lead this thing and try to win this race.
You see Wayne Jackson has his Chevrolet back underway. Let's take a look and see exactly what happened. Now you see a big bunch of trucks there. That's up in the middle of turns 3 and 4. He's already sideways. Looks like that he might have run up on that traffic and got the thing crossed up, trying to keep from running into the back of him. Just barely missed there, but no contact made. He did not lose a lap. Got things underway again. So Wayne Jackson lucky. The last time we saw Wayne Jackson a truck race here or on T&N was in Portland, when he did a flip down the front stretch, landed on his roof. So glad to see that he didn't have that kind of thing happen to him.
You know, one thing to watch on these trucks that are spinning out, NASCAR's rule here today is you cannot change tires under green or under caution except at the 10-minute break in the middle. The only way you can change if a tire is flat, you have to pull that tire off, put it in the pits. A NASCAR official has to check the air pressure in it. If it's flat, then you get to change that tire. If it's not flat, it's a 5-lap penalty. But with these trucks spinning, what that can do is flat spot the tires, and it will really make an ill-handling truck.
Yeah, that's like riding on washboard for the rest of the afternoon. And of course, this Truck Series race will be done like all NASCAR Super Truck Series races by Craftsman. There will be a halfway break at lap 100. The field gets to come in for a 10-minute break to adjust the trucks. We're going to take this opportunity to take a break. We'll be back with more action from Mesa Marin Raceway Stay tuned. We'll be back shortly. Is the official destination of NASCAR. For more information about Opryland, call 615-889-6611, Monday through Friday. Don't call today. You won't get an answer. Another caution. He's made several stops. Let's go down to Steve Burns for the report.
Glenn, the problem with Jack Sprague and the 25 truck, they have lost third and fourth gear. They're having serious transmission problems. They think they have fourth gear fixed, but that's serious problems on this racetrack.
Steve, that could really be a problem. You can live with just having fourth gear. The truck won't go very good on restarts, but there's no way you can run this racetrack and race at any gear but with fourth.
Well, Larry, basically what they've been doing is bringing him in, trying to manually put the thing into high gear so that he can race up to speed.
And I would say if they ever do get it locked in fourth gear, the best place they could leave it is there. And he's just, again, he's going to pay the price on restarts till he can get things wound up, but he's got to have fourth gear.
Having been in a race car before that's had that problem, sometimes the crew in their haste, when they're working with the levers and everything and they're trying to lock the transmission into gear, sometimes they don't know. They think, well, we think we got it in high gear. You don't know until you take off.
That's exactly right. And again, if you get it out of fourth, go back to second for the restart and it won't go, then you're going to be back in those pits.
Yeah, you're in big time trouble then, because second gear won't get it here. Taking a look at truck number 58 again, that's Wayne Jacks. Right behind him is Jack Sprague with the transmission trouble. Obviously, he's staying out on the racetrack. They think right now that they have that problem corrected. Wayne Jacks is the reason for the caution. He got in a little trouble up in the middle of turns 3 and 4, spun around, made no contact with anybody, but caution did fly. There was some debris on the racetrack. See the rear of the field coming by there. There is Ernie Irvin in the number 28 truck. Now, we do have radio contact with Ernie today. Larry, try and see if you can get a word with Ernie.
Okay, we'll try to get with Ernie here. Ernie, this is Larry McReynolds with TNN, part-time crew chief. Do you read me?
We're having fun. Kind of broke up, but man, we're having fun.
Okay, we're going to go back racing here. Just remember what I always tell you. Pull them seat belts tight and take care of those tires and take care of that truck. We'll talk to you later.
Okay, the field has been given the 1 lap to go signal once again. We have completed 18 laps right now. Bill Sedgwick has led from the outset. He was the pole sitter. At the beginning of the race, Todd Bodine raced him a while for the outside, but it was a Winston West race here last night, Larry, and we saw real quickly that the inside groove is the place to be.
Well, you know, Glenn, we was here last night for the Winston West race, and that was definitely the place you had to be as we get ready for the restart here.
Field is single file right now. So looking for a little cleaner racing action. We haven't had too many green flag runs up to this point in the race. See Spears going into turn, see the Spears truck driven by Sedgwick going into turn 3 there. Closely followed by Todd Bodine. Todd Bodine been awfully tough in the truck series. Only his 3rd start, but he's been running up front every one of them.
And this is exactly what Todd Bodine could use as a good run here. You know, he hasn't had the Winston Cup season that he would like to have, and this can certainly put some confidence back in him.
I said this was his 3rd start. I believe it is his 4th start. And he is scheduled to drive that truck in 6 or 8 events next year. Those 2 trucks right now, Larry, putting a little bit of distance on the rest of the field, but Ron Hornaday, you can see him just come into the picture there in the Papa John's Pizza Chevrolet. He's starting to work his way through. He's moved up to 3rd, but Todd Bodine really putting the heat on Sedgwick right now, particularly in the middle of the corner.
Todd may be just a little bit quicker, but Sedgwick is holding that inside line right there, and it's going to be really hard to get by him unless he slips up.
And at this point in the race, Bodine probably content to sit there and ride, knowing that you got to save those tires as long as possible.
You know, Todd Bodine's crew chief, Freddie Fryer, raced those short tracks forever and ever down around the southeast, and he was used to running races where you had to save tires, and I'm sure he's talked to Todd about that before this event.
Well, he moved now. Never mind, it was double. Yeah, Freddie Fryer's got a lot of experience, like you say, on particularly on the short tracks, and he's in Todd's ear telling him what he has to do. And those 2 trucks right now, again, pulling away from the field. You're looking at the 3rd place truck of Ron Hornaday, number 16 there. That's Mike Bliss in number 2. He's running 4th. Right behind him, Joe Ruttman in the Irvin Semo Ford, number 84. Ruttman in 2nd place in the points right now. they all got to keep Mike Skinner behind them. Right now, Mike Skinner is running in 10th position. There you see Ron Hornaday, who is in 3rd, Mike Bliss 4th.
You know, Glenn, you got to give a call to Mike Bliss. I think here's a prime example what just winning a race will do for a guy's confidence. And of course, a lot of credit, I think, goes to Barry Dodson. He come on board at Wilkesboro. Bam, they won the race. And even though I don't think Barry's out here, you can bet that they're running this race based on some of Barry's information.
That's exactly right. You see Joe Ruttman right behind the truck with Mike Bliss. Barry Dodson will be the full-time crew chief for Mike Bliss next year, but he's going to take the rest of this winter off and play a little golf, do a little fishing, spend some time with his loved ones, and he'll go back to work as a crew chief on the Super Truck next year. Watch Ruttman. Watch how he pulls up on Bliss right in the center of the corner right there. He's a little bit quicker than Bliss, but when they start off, it looks like Bliss getting a little better bite. You can see him open the distance back up to a couple truck lines.
Joe's truck definitely getting down in the corner and to the center really good, but again, he's paying the price just a little bit off the corner. You saw his truck just drift up just a bit.
I talked to Joe before the race. He told me that they put a little bit lower gear in the truck than what he really wanted to see in there, so he told me he was going to be super careful about accelerating up off the turns, not to spin the wheels, and that's what he's trying not to do. Once again, back up front, you see Bill Sedgwick still leading Todd Bodine. Bodine has made a couple of passes at him, trying to take that position, but so far Sedgwick being able to hold him off. The guy they're going to have to worry about coming into your picture right there, that's truck number 16, Ron Hornaday. He's got 6 wins already this year. He won last week at Sears Point. Now you see the trucks of Jeff Bodine, number 7 there, Rick Corelli in number 6, number 18 is Johnny Benson, and right behind them, Mike Skinner, number 3. At the battle for 7th and 8th, that's the Total Petroleum truck. We're looking at the picture from out the front glass of Rick Corelli, right up on the rear bumper of Jeff Bodine. Those two trucks pretty equally matched right now.
They really are. And you know, 2 races to go. Rick Corelli, he's run so good this year in all the truck races, and you know these guys really want to get a win. You see Jeff Bodine, just as he goes back to the throttle right there, fishtailing just a little bit up on the straightaway.
If you saw when those two trucks came off the corner, you can see out the front of Corelli's truck, a truck down on the inside of the racetrack. That was Garrett Evans in truck number 10. He has pulled into the pits. He looks like he's off the pace, possibly out of the race. Good pictures from, look at the wind move the hood up and down on Corelli's Chevy truck there, following the Ford of Jeff Bodine.
You watch Jeff Bodine. As I've watched the races in practice here for the last couple of days, Glenn, I kind of relate this type of racetrack and this type of tire to the Wilkesboro situation. And Jeff Bodine has a lot of experience in
83 off the pace.
So it's got to be a good racetrack for him, knowing what to do.
83 off the pace. And you see that the lapping of the trucks has started now. That's Sedgwick, still the leader. And it looks like as they move into traffic, he's been able to put a little breathing room between himself and Todd Bodine.
You know, here last night, Glenn, Sedgwick, I think, had one of the better cars in that race, but just the tire situation got him, and he ended up, I think, in 2nd place.
You see Ernie Irvin moving in on the back bumper of Scott Lagasse in number 24. Lagasse is under the truck of Butch Miller. Butch in the high groove, not where he wants to be right now. I believe that's for 14th place. Lagasse takes the position. Ernie Irvin follows him right by.
They worked on Ernie's truck a lot last night, I think, till they run him out of the garage area, and they was in here early this morning, made a lot of changes. I think there was one of the last trucks to go through inspection. And what I'm seeing of the truck here now versus what I saw in practice yesterday, I think they've made a lot of gain on this truck.
I got a charge out of Ernie. We asked him about the tire situation, about taking care of tires, and Ernie said, hey, I'm not the right guy to ask about that. I don't know how to take care of tires.
Don't you let him kid you. He knows how to take care of them.
One of the weekly contenders with us is Steve Portengay, number 83. He's got a problem right now. He's in the pits. Let's go to Steve Burns.
Glenn, I just talked to his crew. He is out of brakes. They've got the car jacked up. They're looking at both sides. Steve Portengay, who may have been a dark horse to win this race today, has no brakes.
Boy, tough break for him early on. We'll take this opportunity to take a break right now. Bill Sedgwick still leads. Ron Hornaday has moved into 2nd, followed by Todd Bodine, Mike Bliss, and Joe Ruttman. We'll be back for more in a moment.
When you're looking for the place with the best for your car, when it's quality and service you need.
once again to Mesa Marin Raceway in Bakersfield, California. You see Mike Skinner in truck number 3 there, Johnny Benson in 18, Rick Corelli truck number 6, and moving around him on the outside is number 38, the Channel Lock Ford of Sammy Swindell. A lot of action back in the pack. Hard to tell at this point, Larry, whether the guys are racing that hard or just the guy pulls up and starts giving you a little heat. Let him go. I'm going to save those tires.
Well, this is one of the longest green runs we've had because we had all those cautions in the early going, and they didn't get a long enough run to know what their truck's going to do and how the tires is going to act. So now I think the good trucks are going to start to shine.
Watch Johnny Benson go around Mike Skinner there. I don't think Skinner is racing too hard yet. I saw Rick Corelli's truck kick out a little bit there as they went off of turn 2 last time. He looks like he's got a little bit of loose condition. In fact, you can see it right there. Looked like the truck wanted to dart out toward the wall.
Well, we talked in the opening of the show about adhesion and grip. The real end of the truck that loses that adhesion is the rear. The cars just won't get a bite up off the corner.
Boy, you saw Scott Lagasse really go by Corelli like he was sitting still. Now the battle for second place is heating up. Excuse me, that's for third place. Todd Bodine in the number 61 truck, Joe Ruttman in the 84 truck, and Mike Bliss running 5th in the number 2 truck. Looking again out the front glass, front windshield of Joe Ruttman. He's really starting to put some heat on Bodine. Bodine looks like the handle's going away just a little bit on him. Ruttman moves up on the outside.
And, you know, I want to comment on the gear situation with Ruttman. This is a type of situation where in the first 15 or 20 laps, you probably didn't need a very low gear, but if you could protect those tires and take care of it, then that low gear is going to help you in the long run.
Wow, look at this move for the lead by Ron Hornaday Jr. in the number 16 truck. Down in the dirt he goes. He's got the position away from Spears. If he can get by T.J. Clark, the lap truck, number 23 there, squeezes Sedgwick in behind him. We've got a new leader, Ron Hornaday Jr. It only took him 45 laps to get to the front.
And his truck is just working awesome. It gets in good right around the bottom of the racetrack. It gets a good forward bite off.
You know, Hornaday won the last race here that they had at Bakersfield back in the spring, and this is the same truck that he drove to victory here. But he told me it's the same truck, but it's entirely different. Everything under the chassis, everything under the suspension is different from what they ran here last time.
Whatever they've done right now, 47 laps into it, looks like they went the right direction.
We're coming up to we got 3 wide action here. We've seen that doesn't work so far. The number 79 truck of Jimmy Dick from El Paso, Texas, having a little bit of trouble right there. Jimmy's got it straightened out now. Looks like he's back underway, but things looked a little scary for him there for a moment. Rick Corelli moves by on the outside.
We've seen them 3 wide racing, but I just don't think this track was designed for 3 wide.
No, it's wide enough, but it's just not fast enough. And there you see Jimmy Dick in truck number 79 has finally spun it. He is down off the racing surface. That's coming off just off turn 4. The truck is stalled. Caution flag is out, and now there's a race back for the lead. Man, that was too close.
That was a close call.
Yeah.
I believe they're going to have the camera out on that one.
Who was leading there, Larry?
I don't know. I believe they're going to have to go to tape and figure that one out.
Let's take another look at that action up in turn 4 with Jimmy Dick. You see the caution truck pulling out in front now. Watch Dick go into the corner. We saw Corelli move up on the outside of him. Jimmy really buries it down in the corner there. Oh, he just drove it off the racetrack, turned it around. Makes no contact with anybody else. Everybody else behind him gets stopped. You see the trucks of Mike Chase, Toby Butler, several others there taking evasive action. Jimmy still just now has got the truck refired. He did lose a lap sitting there, so tough break for him, but he did not make any contact with anything. He'll be back in the action. Caution truck is out, and while we're talking about the caution truck, let's take an opportunity right now. Mike S.D. Simons normally drives the pace truck here. You see Ken Schrader's truck in the pits with the hood up. Mike normally drives the pace truck for NASCAR. He had a kidney stone attack. He had an operation on it Thursday. He is recuperating. Hope he's watching us today. Wish the best of luck to you, Mike. We miss you in the pace truck there. We'll take this opportunity now while the action has slowed down to take another break so that we can continue to bring you racing action here. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more from Mesa Marin right after this. Flag has just re-shown itself. Action continues now. You see Ron Hornaday is leading right now, but Steve Portengay, the black number 83 up there, he is a lap down. He had a problem. Remember, he had no brakes. He's running pretty fast right now, so maybe he still doesn't have brakes.
He's got his work cut out for him to make a lap up on Ron Hornaday, though.
Or anybody else on the outside of this racetrack. Hornaday leads. Bill Sedgwick in the blue and white number 75 is second. Joe Ruttman Truck number 84 is third. You're looking out the front of Ruttman's truck right there. You see him move in on Spears. And here is what would happen if the race ended right now. This is what the point situation would be. Of course, the race is not going to end right now, but you know, this is how they're running right now. This is the point situation, as up to date as we can bring it to you. Continuing to ride along with Joe Ruttman. There you see Hornaday in the red truck down on the bottom. Portengay has moved around him on the outside, so you know, he did get one lap back.
I missed that call, definitely. His truck is awfully strong right now.
He is. Look at the boy. Looks like Hornaday might be having a little bit of problem there. He may have a cut tire.
Something is wrong. He really fishtailed off of turn 2 a while ago.
Yeah, he's something is amiss. And he goes into the corner very high. But he continues to motor away right now, so maybe he just hit something on the racetrack. You
know what could happen here? They've run so many laps on those tires, and when the caution comes out, when you don't change tires, the tires are hot and they pick up a lot of rubber, and that'll almost make a truck feel like it's got a flat tire. That may be what have happened right there. Steve, I believe you got a report on Ron. What's the story down there?
Larry, I just talked to one of the crew members on the 16 truck, Banjo Grimm. He says there's oil on the track all over the place, and that's why NASCAR has thrown this caution.
Steve, you had to believe something was amiss there, because all of a sudden that truck just really went bad, and that kind of makes sense what would happen.
Well, I think this started a little earlier on. Watch what happens here to Jeff Bodine. Look at how he was sliding. The truck right behind him also sliding. Bodine did a great job of saving it, but there definitely is some oil on the racetrack. That's a good move on NASCAR's part there to put the field under caution. Let's check this racing surface out. Before that caution came out, Ken Schrader brought his number 52 AC Delco Chevrolet truck into the pits and parked it for the day. Steve Burns has got a report.
Glenn, we got to Ken just as soon as we could. He took off. He was not happy. I went to his crew chief, Timmy Cahuth. I said, Timmy, what's the problem with the truck? Why do you park it? And he said, he has an ignition problem. How about that? So that's open to interpretation, but they were not happy.
Well, Larry, what, you know how to interpret that stuff. What is an ignition problem that's not an ignition problem?
I don't know. I'll have to remember that line there. That's a pretty good one, because just remember, whatever you say, you can't never take back. So that probably was a good move.
I think I know what it is. Ignition problem. Things didn't start off the way he wanted them to.
The race just wasn't going as planned. So probably the best thing that happened.
This should make things really tricky if NASCAR, if cleanup crew, we see it. You can see it coming down the front stretch right there, dropping the oil dry on the racetrack. There is some down in turns 1 and 2 in the middle of that. We saw that with Jeff Bodine, almost lost it a while ago. Looking at the run down there, Hornaday, Sedgwick, Ruttman, Bliss, Todd Bodine, Jeff Bodine, Michael Dokken, Mike Skinner, Johnny Benson, and Sammy Swindell are the top 10. Hornaday took the lead on lap 45. We're just now working lap 59. Hornaday didn't have as good a qualifying run as he thought he would have. He started in 8th position, but like I said, it didn't take him very long to get to the front of the field. And he's racing his old nemesis. The guy behind him, Bill Sedgwick, throughout last year as Hornaday was running in Winston West Racing and in Southwest Tour Racing for Wayne Spears, the owner of Spears Manufacturing. Bill Sedgwick was Ron's crew chief. Now they're running 1-2 here at Bakersfield, a place where they have fought many a battle.
We got to believe they learned a lot together when they was a driver-crew chief combination, and I think between the two of them, they have got a lot of laps logged here at Mesa Marin.
Well, it's certainly evident right now as they're the top 2 trucks in the field. As I said, Joe Ruttman doing a great job right now. Joe told me he was really going to take it easy, but he might have a pretty powerful truck if that's taking it easy. Already moved up to 3rd.
Well, the tires is getting hot enough and enough laps on them now that if they do have that low gear, that could be a plus right now. Steve's down in the pits got a story for us.
Larry, we're seeing a lot of brake problems here today. Mike Chase is on pit road. He lost his brakes, then ran into the back of another truck, and the radiator is damaged. Roger Mears has also had brake problems, but you see Mike Chase's day is probably finished.
Mike Chase driving the Sears Die Hard truck that P.J. Jones started the year in. Jones had to leave to concentrate on Toyota's efforts to run the IndyCar circuit next year. Things haven't gone the way that Mike Chase would like for them to. He actually started the year. You see the crew pushing the truck now. Looks like he's done for the day. You saw all the fluid there under it. Looks like the radiator problem is going to be what finally put him out. But Mike Chase started the year running NASCAR Winston Cup racing. Only lasted a couple of races. He picked up this ride late in the season, but hadn't been a very good year for Mike Chase.
You know, Glenn, we've heard of a couple of trucks that has experienced brake problems here today, and you know, they don't really pull that low of a gear that slows them down getting in the corner, and the entrance speed is really high here. And last night in the Winston West race, in the darkness, you could literally see the rotors glowing. So I think the trucks are maybe using a little more brakes than some of the guys anticipated.
Good call you made a while ago, Larry. You could see Ron Hornaday swerving back and forth there to clean his tires off. Of course, a lot of speedy dry down on the racetrack. See Scott Lagasse doing the same thing. Going to keep those tires clean, test that racing surface out.
And this will be a good caution now for the drivers really to talk to their crew chiefs about what their trucks has done in that last green run. Again, they got that 10-minute segment coming up, a little bit of a break there in about 38 laps, and that way the crew chiefs can start thinking and planning for what changes they do want to make on these trucks for that last segment.
You see the beautiful California desert in the background there. I tell you, I was really impressed with the drive up here from LA. Beautiful countryside here. The NASCAR Family Cruise and the Big Red Boat, sponsored by R.J. Reynolds, Image South Marketing, and Clavel Corporation. NASCAR fans have the opportunity to make cruise history. Cruise from Cape Canaveral to the Bahamas, December 4th through the 8th. Winston Cup drivers on the tour or on the cruise, including Kyle Petty, Ernie Irvan, Todd Bodine, Ted Musgrave, and Steve Grissom. They'll all participate, and the proceeds will benefit the Winston Cup Drivers Auxiliary. For more information on the cruise and the Big Red Boat, call 1-800-972-2359. Field's getting the signal now for one to go. We saw a couple of trucks exiting pit road there. One was Wayne Jackson, the other Toby Butler. Butler has had a lot of problems. Ford this week, just not up to his liking. So they're already trying to fudge on the halftime, make some adjustments right now. They've got about 40 more laps to run before halftime. Come in now, make some adjustments. You can get a feel for if that helped, if that hurt, you maybe have a little better idea what to do at the halftime.
And in these last 40 laps, this is when the trucks are really going to begin to start sliding around, and they're really going to get ill handling. And there you see Toby Butler back in the pits again and headed back on the racetrack. We've got the one to go, so I think we're going to go racing here next time by.
Yeah, Butler went back down pit road, but he did not stop. As you said, the field got the one to go. And we've got a false restart here. We've got to get guys back in line. Steve Portengay's crew was contending. He should be able to move up to the bottom of the, to the front of the grid. So a little disagreement there between Portengay and NASCAR as to where he should be placed on the racetrack. We'll run one more lap under caution.
If there was a break for that oil on the racetrack, it was Steve Portengay. He was able to make up that lap when he slipped by Ron Hornaday, but NASCAR is still showing him 9 laps down, so he's got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, and at this point in the race, being that far behind, he doesn't really want to or need to worry the leaders in the race too awfully much. That's an awful lot of time to try to make up. A good look at some of the trucks in the back of the field. Number 11, Mike Hurlbert there. 23 is T.J. Clark. And number 28, Ernie Irvan. And Ernie has moved up into 10th position.
That's what Ernie Irvan's used to doing. It's definitely they have got a handle on that truck, and the changes these guys made last night. All the trucks was covered up, loaded in the truck, and Ernie's crew was down there welding, cutting, sawing, beating, banging, and looks like they made some gains. And it's great to see Ernie running this good. Talked to him this morning, a little discouraged about his qualifying effort, but just when you think Ernie Irvan's down, he's back.
Well, he started in 22nd position, already gained 12 positions on the field right now. He has moved into the top 10, and I don't know, it's going to be interesting. The trucks that are in front of him are good trucks. Johnny Benson right in front of him in the number 18 there. Let's see if we can maybe get a word with Ernie while we're under this extended caution. Larry, see if you can ring him up on the radio.
Okay, Ernie was talking to his crew, but I believe they're done talking right now. Ernie, this is Larry. Can you read me? Bud, you're looking awfully good out there. You've moved up from 22nd to 10th. Things look like they're going good for you.
Well, you know, we don't want to count our chickens before we hatch. I think we got a pretty good truck here today, but, you know, we're going to work on it on the halftime and get her a little better.
If you're fighting any problems at all, what are you kind of fighting right now?
Too tight in the middle. I mean, too tight in the middle. I mean, I just pushed from the middle off. So I think that we can maybe loosen her up more.
That sounds good. Just remember, don't loosen it up so much that you can't get a forward bite off that corner, but just take care of yourself, and you got 33 laps to go, and you're looking good.
These guys, okay.
All right, NASCAR has found some more oil on the racetrack, so we're going to have a little bit more extended caution period here. The Speedy Dry truck's still out there. We're going to take this opportunity to take a break. We'll be back for the green flag restart right after this. And we're just about ready to restart back here at Mesa Marin. And the problem that has been identified now, the Chevy truck of Michael Dokken had an oil leak. They were not aware of it. He continued to run around the racetrack under caution with the rest of the field. Fluid still coming from the truck. So Dokken has parked. He's gone to the garage area right now. Cleanup crew making one more final sweep around the racetrack. We should get things back underway here very shortly.
It's really a shame. Those guys come up here and qualified a strong third, and you know, maybe didn't hold up there right in the front, but was still holding their own, and that's it's really a shame to see that happen to them.
And there's Dokken's truck. Great qualifying run for the youngster. He's a former World Karting Association champion, two-time national champion. Had a good run going, but fluid leaks have got him today. Only a couple of trucks out of the race so far. Michael Dokken in the pits right now. Sammy Swindell has pulled his truck behind the wall. Walker Evans is out, Roger Mears and Ken Schrader. Also Garrett Evans has moved his truck behind the wall. And I believe we're getting ready for the restart. The pace truck pulls off of the speedway. Ron Hornaday is your leader, followed by pole sitter Bill Sedgwick. Joe Ruttman third, Mike Bliss fourth, Todd Bodine is fifth as we get ready for this restart.
Here you see Steve Portengay. He had to back off just a little bit. Ron Hornaday was the boss on that restart, and he couldn't jump him, so he had to back off a little bit. But there he's got back under Ron, and Ron's going back by him on the outside.
Yeah, Hornaday's truck pushed up a little bit in the center of the corner on the first hot lap when he went down into turn one, but looks like he's got things righted and looking okay right now. You see a little bit of dust on the racetrack. That's from the Speedy Dry residue, but they'll blow that off in a lap or two. Shouldn't cause any problems.
See Joe Ruttman right there. His truck's really working good on the bottom. Sedgwick gets a pretty good forward bite off the corner. Truck really runs good down the straightaway, but Ruttman's truck just right on the bottom of the racetrack. On
the restart, Mike Bliss had jumped up on the outside of Ruttman, trying to take third place away from him, but Ruttman took the position back. Now he's got his sights set on Sedgwick. Good look at Joe Ruttman there. He's had an awfully good season, a couple of wins already. Tremendously consistent. This young man right here, the number 2 Ultra Wheels truck you were looking at, Mike Bliss, great future in this sport. As I said, he got his first win a few weeks ago at North Wilkesboro. He's run consistently up front. When the truck stays under him, he's there.
Glenn, how many times have you seen that where a driver in a series struggle, get that first win, and it's like somebody just flipped a switch?
Yeah, and he turned his to on and go because he has really been running well. A little bit further back in the pack, you see Ernie Irvin has moved under Mike Skinner. Irvin got the preferred line down on the inside.
Now what you got to remember, the truck on the inside, that's the owner of the truck that's chasing Skinner in these points. So this is kind of a different situation.
And this battle is for 8th position. Meanwhile, back up front, Bill Sedgwick has closed the gap that Ron Hornaday was able to open up after the restart. Sedgwick and Ruttman have moved right up on the tailgate of Hornaday. Hornaday still seems to be having just a little bit of problem right in the middle of the corner, and I can't believe that's anything other than tire wear.
His truck is definitely not working as good as it was, say, in the first 50 laps. And, you know, I've talked a lot with Jay Smith, the crew chief on Joe Ruttman's truck there, and they've really worked hard on Joe's long green runs.
Joe moves down to the bottom right there, trying a different entry into the turn. But as I told you, he said he really had to be careful about accelerating coming up because of that lower gear. He says that rear tires to him here are the most important part on the truck. You cannot spin them. Oh, good battle right there. Ernie Irvin all over the back bumper of Todd Bodine. Meanwhile, Mike Skinner moved up on the outside of Bodine to try to take that position away.
Ernie's truck's working on the bottom, and Todd was protecting that groove, and that allowed Skinner to go around the outside of both of them.
Skinner takes over 6th, Todd Bodine 7th, and Ernie Irvin is still in 8th. And now you see Irvin duck under Bodine. I don't think Todd's going to fight him too much. It looks like Todd's lost the handle.
And Todd's used to racing with Ernie. You know, if a truck is faster this early in the race, he's going to let him go.
Yeah, he's used to racing with Ernie. I'm getting out of his way. Mike Skinner holds down 6th place right now. And remember, at the top of the show, I told you if he were to finish 6th here this week and 7th or better at Phoenix in 2 weeks, then he clinches the championship regardless of what either Ruttman or Hornaday do. So this is exactly where Mike Skinner needs to be right now. Driving that pickup like it's showroom new. Doesn't want anybody to be too close to him, either front or rear.
Ernie's truck really gets down in the corner good. As when we talked to him a while ago, he said his truck was a little bit tight, meaning the front end just wouldn't quite cut in the center. Like I told him, what he's got to remember, he can make that thing cut the center better, but if he's not careful, it'll hurt the forward bite off. And right now, his truck's on the bottom, so that's a sign that it's not pushing too bad.
Yeah, you can see him, though, he really had to feather it coming off the corner, though. As he gets in there, makes that gain going into the corner. You see it right there, but you can see Skinner and get the acceleration. He's got up on higher on the racetrack. He can accelerate up just a little quicker off the corner. Ernie definitely beating him going in, though.
Ernie beats him getting in the corner, goes through the center, but Skinner gets that little bit better forward bite off. I'm going to bet Ernie's not going to want to free this truck up too much during that halftime break.
No, because those things will get loose. We got a smoker going into turn 4 there. John Kinder loses a little bit of smoke, and he pulls down off the racing surface out of harm's way, so no problem. You're looking at Jack Sprague there. He moves under Todd Bodine to take the position away. Bodine falling rapidly back through the field. Rick Skinner now moving up on the number 63 truck of Ron Esau. Good pictures from Skinner. As truck number 87, John Nemechek, moves by Corelli on the outside. I said Skinner, that's Corelli.
You know, Glenn, when he went by the Ron Esau truck there, you saw the MDA. I talked to Ron a little bit yesterday. He's got this ride for here and for Phoenix. And you've seen that MDA, part of the money from this truck is going to go to the Muscular Dystrophy Association. Caution is out on the speedway.
Yeah, we see the caution flag flying again, and we got a good look at the tailgate on John Nemechek's truck there. I don't know if that's a new Chevrolet design or somebody got into the back of it. While the caution is flying, we'll use this opportunity to take a break. We'll be right back with more action from Mesa Marin. Stay tuned for more Super Truck Series racing. Big jump on the rest of the field. Joe Ruttman has a little trouble. You see the truck stacked up 3 wide there. Thought he was going to get by Bill Sedgwick, but it wasn't to be. Sedgwick was able to hold him off. Meanwhile, the black truck in front of Sedgwick is that of Steve Portgate. He is at least 8 laps down at this point.
See, Ron Hornaday has really built the lead, but you know his crew, I'm sure they said, okay, Ron, you got 9 to 10 laps before halfway. Get all that truck will get out of it. You got that $1,000 halfway mark coming up at lap 100, so they can kind of let it hang out now and not be too concerned about the way the truck's handled.
Every week in every NASCAR Super Truck race, Gatorade pays $1,000 to the leader of the race at the halfway mark. Right now, it looks to be Ron Hornaday's to take home and put it in the bank. At the halfway season, at the halfway mark of the season, they paid $10,000 to the points leader. That was Joe Ruttman. So big contingency program from Gatorade there. These guys really anxious to get hold of that money. Hornaday going to do everything he can to keep them behind him. He jumped out to a big lead on the last restart, Larry, but after about 10-15 laps, the rest of the field caught up to him. Take a look at Rick Corelli now. You see Wayne Jackson, number 58, move down on the bottom of him. The white truck number 34 you saw there was Ray Daniels. If you saw us last week, that white truck of Ray Daniels is the very same truck that we saw flip out of and land on top of the fence at Sears Point. These guys worked day and night and day, all week long to get that truck here. And believe it or not, folks, that is the same truck. Great job by Ray Daniels and his crew.
And you know, if you notice, Glenn, there's no sponsorship on the side of his truck. And you say, well, why would those guys work that hard to get here and they're not even running all of the races? The story was to get a sponsorship locked in for next year that he's real close on. The last requirement was he had to field a truck at these last 3 races.
He certainly did that, and again, hats off to the guys. I know that was a long, tough week, because when I saw that truck, I thought it was done forever. See T.J. Clark at number 23 there, get a little bit out of shape. Walker Evans, I told you that he was out of the race a while ago. I was incorrect. I was looking at his backup truck down in the pits. Walker is still out there in his Dodge and running well. Sorry, Walker, I didn't mean to park you that early. Lots of action back in the pack there. Those guys are really going at it. Roger Mears has rejoined the fray after repairing his brake problem. Gets down off the racetrack at number 5 there, the Budweiser truck. see John Nemechek being passed by all those trucks. He's in the silver, number 87. Looks like he's got a little bit of a problem. A lot of these guys right now, only a few laps to go to the halfway point. They're just trying to make it to that halfway point in the race.
Roger, I believe, part of the racetrack is down there on the infield because he's hanging both of his left side wheels off in the grass.
Or you can see Hornaday there still with the big lead. Well, Roger Mears is an off-road racer, Larry, and that's what he's used to doing. He thought, well, this is going to work for me. I'll drive it down here to dirt.
Maybe that makes him feel at home if he can see a little bit of dirt flying up.
Makes the other guys behind him a little anxious. And you can see Ron Hornaday, the lead that he has over Bill Sedgwick. Sedgwick started on the pole. Hornaday was 8th, but he wasted no time in going through the field. The field should get 1 lap to go to halfway this time. Just completed lap number 99, so 1 more lap. You see Mike Bliss there. Mike's running off the good race. He is in 3rd, having moved by Joe Ruttman. Ruttman maintains 4th. And Jack Sprague has moved up to 5th in his number 25 Budweiser truck, looking out the front glass once again of Joe Ruttman.
There you see the flagman with the flags crossed, means signifying the halfway point. Next time by, they'll get the caution flag for the halftime break.
It'll be interesting to find out if Hornaday's going to make any changes. We've got 3 wide action there. Wow, that got close up there. Mike Hurlbert, truck number 65 of Ken Allen from Shelby, North Carolina, and all those guys right in Ron Hornaday's way, but the caution flag is out. Ron Hornaday picked up the $1,000 Gatorade bonus. We'll be right back after this break to pick up on the halftime activities. We'll find out exactly what everybody's going to do, what their game plan and strategy is for the second half. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Brought your trucks into the pits to make the adjustments at halftime. Let's go down to Steve Burns, find out exactly what's going on.
Well, Glenn, Ron Hornaday's in getting a drink. I talked to crew chief Doug Richard. He said that besides changing the tires, they've got a loose condition. They need to tighten them up.
Wow, that's hard to believe, Larry, that thing was was loose. It looked to me like it was awfully strong. Well, of course, that could have been just tire wear.
He was strong there at the end, but what we got to remember, it's only going to get looser. This second 100-lap segment, the track's just going to get greasier and slicker. More oil's going to get down, and it's just going to get looser. You know, a couple of things that they probably would look at doing is maybe putting just some wedge in the car, some more weight on the jack boats on the left rear, the right front. A good thing that works at a racetrack like this is letting a little more air out of the rear tires. Just give them a little more adhesion, and that'll sometimes tighten the car up.
And speaking of a little more air, you see Ron Hornaday getting a little fan there in his face. Also, you saw the one hanging on the front of the truck, trying to cool the radiator of the engine off as much as they can. Very warm here today in sunny Southern California. Mid-80s, so heat's got to be a factor. You see Bill Sedgwick there with the hood up. Also Todd Bodine, the Roush Racing Ford.
You see a spring laying there in the pits of the Roush Racing pits. Probably what they might have done, I'm going to guess here, maybe they was loose. They possibly softened that right rear spring, give the car more forward bite.
Yeah, he was definitely loose. You know, one of the faces that we have been seeing the last few weeks on the Super Truck Series is that of Kenny Wallace. Now, Kenny's been driving a truck owned by a guy named Earl Barbin. A great story there. They're going to be with us in Phoenix. Let's hear about it. Since the inception of Penske Racing South, Earl Barbin has driven Rusty Wallace's rig for thousands of miles from race to race. This season, in his spare time, Earl put together his own super truck team with Kenny Wallace as the driver, accomplishing a dream of being a team owner. Despite success at Martinsville and North Wilkesboro, Earl didn't have the funds to travel to Phoenix for the season finale. But the racing fraternity came through, and Earl's notebook shows enough donations to ensure his number 90 truck will be in Phoenix.
When they found out that I was doing this, everybody, it was overwhelming. People wanted to give something, and I got, you know, $20 and from a lot of people, and there were some sponsors or friends of mine that give a little bit more than that. I was really appreciative, and what I wanted to do is I was going to find out how much I could get, and then if I could get it, then I was going to go back and collect it. And everybody's just done wonderful, and we've gotten just enough to cover expenses and stuff like that. This is not for me to make a lot of money and drive a fancy car or get a motorhome or a plane or anything like that. This is just to have a good time, and me and Kenny have been having a good time.
Earl Barbin always has a good time, and I can't see him driving away in a motorhome. We're looking underneath Bill Sedgwick's truck there. A lot of work going on. He finished second in the first segment there. and work going on in the front end of the truck as well. What do you think they're doing there, Larry?
Yeah, I don't know. I was trying to see if possibly they was working on the brakes, but maybe Steve's down there and can give us a story.
Larry, I just talked to Bill Sedgwick. They're going to change a right front spring on the 75 truck, and they also took a rubber out of the right rear. I talked to Todd Bodine, asked him how it was going. He said not too good. He said we were happy with our qualifying setup, but we don't have this truck ready to race. And they're going to make an adjustment to the right rear.
You know, that's the thing, Glenn and Steve. These guys had to work on qualifying and race in yesterday's practice. They qualified last night, and then no more practice like we're used to with the Winston Cup cars. You qualify and you race the next day, so it's kind of a compound situation you're working on there in practice.
Well, to compound things, qualified at night under the lights when the temperature was a lot cooler here. Very warm here today. We'll be right back with more halftime activity here at Mesa Marin Raceway, Bakersfield, California, after this message. With a capacity crowd of about 12,500 avid race fans, complete sellout. They sold the thing out. They added additional seats. Then they sold those out. They just didn't have time to put any more seats in here, or they'd got more people here. Great crowd, great racing they've seen so far today. We've got some more information from down in the pits. Let's go down to Steve Burns.
I just talked to Richard Childress about the 3 truck of Mike Skinner. I said, Richard, what kind of changes you guys making? He said, well, a track bar adjustment, air pressure in the left rear, and then a whole bunch of other stuff I don't really want to talk about as we take a look at the truck of Joe Ruttman.
Ruttman has to be pretty happy with the way things went for him, Larry, because like I said, he expressed some concern, but I never once saw him get that truck out of shape, and that was his goal. He told me, I've got to keep it straight, keep the rear tires under the truck, absolutely can't spin them.
Joe really took care of his truck, and as it looked like in the last 20 or 30 laps of that run, his truck was good for the long haul. You know, they was talking about Skinner's truck. Some of the things that they talked about, adjustments they made, sounds like Skinner might have been a little bit on the loose side. As during the break I was watching him down there, he put a little bit of wedge in it. He turned down on that left rear jack boat and backed off that right rear, and that puts more wedge in the car, which says the truck needed to be tighter.
And they definitely want to finish at least in the 6th position. Now, there was a new announcement made this past weekend concerning Dodge Motorsports in the Super Truck Series next year. It involves Richard Petty. A heck of a story. We can't wait for this to happen. This week in Detroit, Richard Petty announced he will reunite with Dodge to enter a factory-sponsored Super Truck in 1996, along with automobile dealer Bobby Gandy. So far, no driver for the 43 truck has been announced, so will the King return behind the wheel?
Well, you know, I told my wife that, you know, we had a contract with her that I wouldn't drive a car, but I think in the contract it don't say nothing about a truck, but I might not get by with that. But basically, you know, we'll get us a driver, but the big deal now is get the team set up and get ready to go racing.
I know Linda Petty, Richard, you ain't going to get by with that. The trucks are moving out of the pits right now. We'll be back with the start of the second half here very shortly. They've made their halftime adjustments. We'll see if they guessed right or wrong. We'll be back for the start of the second half right away. Getting ready for the restart of the race for the second half. We've got 99 laps to go. Ron Hornaday was leading at the halfway, followed by Bill Sedgwick, Mike Bliss, Joe Ruttman. Jack Sprague made a great run up through the field to finish 5th in the first segment. Mike Skinner, 6th position. That's where he's got to finish. Jeff Bodine, 7th. Ernie Irvin, great run for Ernie. He wound up in 8th. Scott Lagasse was 9th. And Butch Miller, haven't heard much from him today. He was 10th. Looking at 11 through 20, you see Todd Bodine, Johnny Benson, Wayne Jacks, good run for him. Walker Evans into Dodge, great run for Walker. Ron Esau, Bob Brevac, Toby Butler, Joe Nemechek, Rick Corelli fighting a loose condition, and man, oh man, in the top 20, Ray Daniels after the flip last week. Way to go, Ray. 21st is T.J. Clark, followed by Kenny Allen, Carlos Serrano, Southwest Tour veteran, Rick Johnson, the motorcycle veteran, Mike Hurlbert, Jimmy Dick, Steve Portengay, John Kinder, Kevin Harvick, Sammy Swindell. Swindell is out of the race. Had a blown engine. Michael Dawkin had oil problems. He had to part. Mike Chase with a busted radiator. Rick Mears is out with brakes. Kenny Schrader is out with some kind of problem. George Tallis and Garrett Evans was the first truck out of the race. Looking out the front glass of Joe Ruttman as the trucks bunch up for the start. And once again, if things were over right now, this is how the points would be. Mike Skinner would have a 53-point lead over Joe Ruttman. He'd only lose 6 points going into today's race. Ron Hornaday Jr. would be minus 121. But it's not going to end now. We've got 99 laps of terrific super truck action left. We'll be going back to green here in just a moment. Larry, what do you see coming up this half? Who do you think is going to be? Could anybody make enough adjustments to catch Ron Hornaday?
I don't know. You know, I was pretty impressed with Joe Ruttman's truck, but just listening to Steve talk about him during the break, you know, they made a lot of changes on that truck. They put more left front spring in it. What that'll help the car, that'll help it, the truck, it'll help it turn through the center. Maybe he was a little tight in the center. They also put more left rear spring and dropped the track bar. They dropped the roll center in the back of the truck. And those two changes was made to tighten the truck up off the corner. So even though I thought he had a good truck, sounds like they made a lot of changes. His teammate, Ernie, said all they did was change tires. So it'll be interesting to watch him.
Well, you see Richard Childress, the truck owner of Mike Skinner, number 3. You're looking at him right now on the outside of T.J. Clark. Richard up high is doing the spotting, keeping an eye out on things he wants. That first Super Truck Championship, they want it very, very badly. And as I said, Skinner finished 6th. That's what he needs to do. If he can finish 6th or better here today and go to Phoenix, finish 7th or better, it makes no difference what Hornaday or Ruttman do. They can win, finish 2nd, run 1-2. As long as Skinner finishes 6th today, 7th in, he is the series title holder. Aerial lifts are provided by the Hertz Equipment Company. Call 1-800-223-0983 for all your rental equipment needs. Field moving down the backstretch. They're coming off of turn 2 right there. Caution lights are still on top of the truck. We'll take this opportunity to wish the Tour Series director, Wayne Alton. It's his wife Libby's birthday tomorrow. Libby, happy birthday. Wayne said he'd be back tomorrow night to help you celebrate. Field will be getting 1 to go this time by. And as we said, Ron Hornaday picked up the $1,000 Gatorade award there. Also, some of the awards that are paid that they're working for today, the Vent Visor Laps Led Award. There's $500 per race that goes to the guy that leads the most laps. Also, Vent Visor gives $500 to the winner. But at the end of the year, there's a $5,000 prize to the guy from Vent Visor who leads the most laps during the year. Right now, going into today's race, Mike Skinner had a lead of over Ron Hornaday, 947 to 836. Steve Burns has got an update from the pits.
Yeah, I just went down to Jack Sprague's pits to check on their transmission because they are having such a good race. And as you remember, they had problems. The crew says all he has is 3rd and 4th gear, just 3rd and 4th gear.
Well, that's a lot better than just 1st and 2nd.
That's a lot better. You see, he's tailing back just a little bit. He's trying to compensate for not having that 2nd gear, getting a good run in 3rd gear as they come to take the green flag to start the second 100 laps.
Yeah, as soon as he gets the 4th gear, he's just as good as anybody else, Larry. Skinner goes up and gives him a little nudge there. As you see Ron Hornaday, once again, Steve Portengay. Portengay got an awfully fast truck, but he had that problem earlier on with the brakes. Got several laps down, just not in contention, but he is quick. Bill Sedgwick right on the tailgate of Ron Hornaday. We'll see whose changes made the most change or had the most effect here in the first part of the second half. But when it really shows up, Larry, is after about lap 60 or after lap 160, somewhere along then we're going to see who made the right choice.
And it's got to be a scary choice for the crew chiefs that made a bunch of changes, for the crew chiefs that didn't make changes. They're going to ask themselves until they see how their trucks perform, should I have made these changes or should I have made more?
And Bill Sedgwick pulls right down to the bottom, takes the lead away from Ron Hornaday. Hornaday ducks back to the inside. That's a patented Dale Earnhardt move that I'm not too sure who invented that. Hornaday says he invented it on the West Coast. Great battle between these two veterans. They have raced many, many miles against each other, particularly here at Mesa Marin in Bakersfield. These guys have got the most experience of anybody here. We mentioned this earlier on. They're running 1-2. They have for most of the day. Boy, Sedgwick's truck is really hooked up right now. He's already put about 10 truck lengths on Hornaday and pulling away rapidly. You see Mike Bliss just was coming into the picture there behind Ron Hornaday, but Bill Sedgwick is really hooked up.
You know, Glenn, so much focus has been put on the championship with Skinner and Ruttman and Hornaday. But we saw Jack Sprague a while ago, and now we're seeing Bill Sedgwick. Those three guys, along with Rick Corelli, they're locked in a battle for 5th place in points with only 21 points separating the three. So even there's a lot of focus for that championship, there's a lot of battles back in the field for these points.
Yep, and every points position pays. Obviously, the higher you finish, the more money you get paid. There you see Ron Hornaday now having his hands full with Mike Bliss in the Ultra Wheels Ford #2. Hornaday's truck looked to be a little sluggish on the first few laps. Sedgwick was able to pull away, but the gap it's consistent now. It's staying the same. In fact, I believe that Hornaday may be inching back up on the leader, Bill Sedgwick, but he's got his hands full, his rearview mirrors full of Mike Bliss anyway.
Mike Bliss, his truck was a little slow on the start of this race here, and now it's coming to him. Maybe he had those air pressures down. Truck wasn't quite as good at the beginning, but now it's coming on. Yeah,
it takes just a few laps. Sedgwick got up high on the racetrack that time. He's been right down on the bottom, but didn't seem to cost him any time. You see a little bit of a flame come out of Sedgwick's truck there, but we've seen that a lot this year. The 9-to-1 compression engines, Larry, they don't burn the fuel quite as clean as the unlimited compressions.
And it pours a lot of fuel in the exhaust pipe, and it burns an exhaust pipe, and that's when you see the backfire.
And there you see Joe Ruttman in 84. Outside of him, number 83, Steve Portengay. Jeff Bodine in truck number 7 just moved by. We're looking at the front glass of Ruttman right there. Ruttman still hanging on to 4th place, but again, he'll take it easy for the first half of this segment. Then I think you'll see him come on to the front if he's got it. Meanwhile, Jeff Bodine is in 5th place, moving right up on the rear tailgate. Joe Ruttman. Get a good look at Jack Sprague at number 25 there. He started 5th. There's 28-3. That's Skinner and Ernie Irvin. Those trucks were having a heck of a battle at the end of the first segment, and they've continued it on here into the second half. Once again, Skinner is running in the 6th position. That's what he needs to maintain.
Either Joe's truck right here is maybe not quite as good as it was at the end of that segment, or either Jeff Bodine has made an improvement on his truck, even though Jeff was coming on at the end of the last segment.
And talking about coming on, look at Hornaday. See the top 5 on the screen there. Ron Hornaday. There you saw that blow-by fuel coming out of Sedgwick. Ron Hornaday has closed the gap and now is making a bid for the lead as they go down the backstretch.
Saw it a while ago. Sedgwick maybe just not able to keep his truck on the bottom. There you see him drifting high on the exit. Maybe his truck's not cutting the center, maybe a little bit loose off, and he has to chase it up the racetrack.
Well, he's definitely up higher than he was in the first part of the first segment. He's just, the truck was so good at the beginning of this segment, but right now, Ron Hornaday is the man to beat.
Hornaday's got his truck right where it was at the end of the first segment, right on the bottom of the racetrack.
Great side-by-side action. You can see the difference in the lines there. Hornaday tucked right down on the bottom. Sedgwick way up the racetrack, but it's working equally well for both guys.
Hornaday, I'm sure, would like not to have to race side-by-side with Sedgwick like this. It does make him run right against the white line, and that really puts a lot of heat in the tires, and we'll begin to use them up a little earlier. I'm sure he'd rather get by Sedgwick, be able to kind of let the truck go where it wants to go.
Boy, a lot of fuel blow by there. That's more than we've ever seen.
About as much as I've ever seen.
Yeah, me too. And you can see Ron Hornaday waited and cooled things off. Woo! Close call from Mike Skinner there. Steve Portengay spun. Mike Skinner was able to avoid him. Of course, Portengay was several laps down. Mike Skinner was in 6th. He did lose several positions in avoiding the spinning truck of Steve Portengay. We're under caution. Let's take another look at that close call for Mike Skinner. There's Portengay in the black number 83 going into the corner. Looks like there's a little contact made. Yes, sir. He cut down on Joe Ruttman. Ruttman had nowhere to go. He made contact. Skinner gets on the binders. Whew, man, I know his heart had to be beating
That's 2
fast.
close calls for Skinner today. I know he don't want many more of those.
Yeah, Portengay's back underway. No further contact. While we're under caution, we'll take this opportunity for another break. Back with more racing action here from Mesa Marin. Action's fast and furious. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. On the restart, they just have started. Ron Hornaday wasted no time in taking the lead from Bill Sedgwick. Let's take another look at the end truck of Joe Ruttman as exactly what happened to bring out that last caution. You can just see Portengay cut down. He thought he had cleared him. There was contact. Portengay went spinning. Mike Skinner just barely avoided him, but he was able to. Skinner lost about 4 positions. See Ruttman running on the racetrack there now. Joe Ruttman still, I believe now, is running in the 6th position. Top 5 are Hornaday, Sedgwick, Mike Bliss, Jeff Bodine, and Ernie Irvin has moved up into 5th position.
He just worked his way and moved his way right up there. You know, I've got to believe that maybe all they did is just change tires, maybe a little bit of air pressure adjustment, but now Ernie's up there and within striking distance of the top 4.
And just to update you, Mike Skinner did fall back to 8th in avoiding Steve Portengay, so he only lost a couple of positions. Good, close racing right there. Ernie Irvin on the tailgate of Jeff Bodine, just like the old days.
Ernie tried Jeff a few times on the bottom side, and now I think he was going to try to work him on the high side, but there he gets under Jeff going into turn 1. I believe he's going to hold the line.
We got a truck spinning coming down the front straightaway. That's the motocross champion Rick Johnson. Truck number 01, he spun down against the inside pit wall. I don't believe he made contact. If he did, it wasn't very hard, but we're going to have to wait and see. Nope, the caution's coming out. He cannot get it refired in time. That's not a real good place that you want to sit.
No, NASCAR gave him a chance to see if he could get going. I believe it stalled on me. Can't get it going, so they had to throw the caution flag.
You got to look at Rick Johnson as he sits there continuing trying to refire the truck. We'll get things restarted here in just a moment. We're going to go away for a few minutes while the action is under caution. We'll be back for the restart. More action here from Mesa Marin in just a moment. Mesa Marin, the field's still under caution for the spin. You can see just in the back of your picture there, the truck number 01 of Rick Johnson. He spun coming off of turn 4. The tow truck has pulled away and left Rick sitting there, so maybe he's got the thing refired. Let's take a look at the top 10. Ron Hornaday wrested the lead away from Bill Sedgwick on that last restart. Now Sedgwick's in second. He's having a hard time holding off Mike Bliss. Jeff Bodine 4th. Great battles for 2nd and 3rd and 4th and 5th. Bodine in 4th, Ernie Irvin 5th, Joe Ruttman 6th, followed by Jack Sprague, Butch Miller, Mike Skinner now in 9th, and Scott Lagasse makes his first appearance into the top 10. See the Johnson's truck getting a tow. Now don't forget, race fans, next week live from Rockingham on Saturday, October 21st, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, the AC Delco 200 for NASCAR's Busch Grand National Series. And on Sunday, the AC Delco 400, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. First time that the Rockingham race has been a 400-mile race instead of a 500-mile race. That's going to make things interesting, Larry. We'll be there to bring you all the action live on TNN both Saturday and Sunday, but won't be able to play much of a waiting game Sunday.
I think it's going to be a lot better race for the fans, for the competitors, for the viewers at home. 400 miles at Rockingham, that's a good 3.5, maybe 4 hours. That's a good length for the event.
That's enough, isn't it?
That's exactly right.
You saw out the front windshield of Rick Corelli there, his onboard truck. Corelli's had kind of a tough day today in his Total Petroleum Chevrolet. He started out running pretty well up in the top 10, but the thing faded on him. Looks like he's starting now to get a handle on things, maybe going to make a move here in the second half, but boy, he had his hands full in the first half. See him pulling up behind the Roush truck driven by Todd Bodine. There you get a good look at Rick Corelli. One of the most surprising things I've seen, and right there it is, his best finish this year is second at Flemington, New Jersey. Looks like he had the thing won. A late caution came out. Ron Hornaday got by him, but I would have thought Rick Corelli would have won by now. Field comes down off of turn 4, gets the green flag, and we're back racing on lap 130. Mike Bliss really putting the heat on the number 5 truck. There's Roger Mears. He is several laps down. But the blue and white truck, number 75 of Bill Sedgwick. The pink, we got major problems up in turns 3 and 4. We got several trucks involved there. The 01 truck of Rick Johnson again. That's number 70, George Tallis. And also number 63, Ron Esau. All those trucks got together, spun around. Doesn't look to be any serious damage, but we're going back to caution again right away. Ron Hornaday beats the field back once again. Continues to lead here. I'll tell you what, these guys, you don't want to see caution out there. You love to race, but with the tire wear the way that it is, Larry, these guys aren't really too sad to see some of these laps being run under caution, because that's that much more stronger they can run under green.
You know, during the break, really didn't hear no complaint about tire wear. And again, these cautions just buy them some extra time, and we'll let them have more tire near the end of this race.
Once again, while we're under caution, we'll take this opportunity to go away and take another break. We'll be back for the restart. More action here from Mesa Marin in the NASCAR Super Truck Series by Craftsman. In for another restart here at Mesa Marin. Ron Hornaday puts about 6 or 8 truck links on the rest of the field there. Bill Sedgwick in number 75, the blue and white truck. still hangs on to second. Mike Bliss is in third. The reason that the caution came out, we've got great pictures from the end truck of Rick Corelli. Watch this melee unfold in front of him. How does he miss this? 0-1, that was Rick Johnson. He just made it by, and a couple other trucks came along, joined the melee, but Rick Corelli awfully lucky there.
Just looked like Rick got loose getting in the corner there and took a few trucks with him.
Unfortunately, Rick Corelli was not one of them. He's had enough problems as it is today. Great battle for second place there. Mike Bliss drops down to the inside. Once again, Bill Sedgwick stays up high on the racetrack, leaves that door open. That's how Ron Hornaday, the number 16 truck there, got by him. Sedgwick having to stay up in the high groove.
You know, since Ron controls the start of each segment after a caution, he's the boss, and he gets a jump on these guys because they have to deal with the lap trucks, but then it's like Sedgwick and Bliss and those guys come back to it.
Look at the battle between Ernie Irvin and Jeff Bodine. Ernie drove by him on the outside to take over the 4th position. Ernie Irvin on his way to the front. Now, you think he's got enough to lead this thing? He's already putting pressure on Bliss for 3rd.
If that truck will go to the front, you can better believe he will lead.
What a story, and he goes by on the outside of Mike Bliss. So he's found a place he likes there, Larry.
Well, we've watched Ernie's truck work good on the bottom of the racetrack, but he's also right now looks like he has the ability to go on the outside to get by these trucks. When you get a truck that'll work outside and down low, he's going to be tough to handle.
He's got something. If those tires will stay under him for the rest of the race, he may have something to say about the outcome of this thing. Ernie Irvin on his way to the front, started 22nd. Just now taking over 3rd place from Mike Bliss. On the outside of Bill Sedgwick, man, he is going to the front.
Ernie really has a knack for searching around for grooves on a racetrack. Maybe if his truck isn't working good in the bottom like it should, he'll move up and try it. He may find something up there. And right now, his truck, about a half a lane up, is really working good as he's moved into 2nd place.
Well, now let's see if he's got anything left for Ron Hornaday. He has passed everybody else and really had little trouble doing it. He's just up just a little, about a lane higher than what Hornaday is running.
If I was on radio right now with Ernie, I would say, okay, Ernie, you've maybe had to work those tires. Just be content to stand there for a little bit and then let things cool down and you can get back to the front.
We got a truck off the course there. That's number 34, Ray Daniels. Tough break for Ray. He was running in the top 20, but the caution flag does not fly. He was way off the racetrack on the inside of the backstretch, so Ray's back underway and the rest of the field continues on. Back up front, Ron Hornaday continues to lead, and I think Ernie's doing just what you said, Larry. He got by everybody. He had to heat the thing up a little bit. Now let's let her cool off and see if he can make a run at Ron Hornaday.
Well, we got 57 laps to go, and you know, he can save a little bit here, have something for those last 20 or so laps.
I'll tell you a guy that ain't saving nothing. That's Ron Hornaday. He is wide open by the time he gets to the racetrack until they throw the checkered flag. Then he races home.
I think Ron and Ernie has a lot of similar driving styles. I think they run every lap just as hard as they can, as you said, even the practice laps.
Yeah, they want to win practice, they want to win qualifying, they want to win the race, and like I said, they want to win the race home. Ernie Irvin, truck number 28 there. Awfully good run. The truck looks stable right now. Ooh, good battle back in the pack between Mike Skinner and Joe Ruttman. Skinner moves around Ruttman to take a position away. And I don't know, all those changes they made on Ruttman, looks like they may have gone the wrong way, Larry.
I certainly hate to second guess the changes that was made on that truck, but again, I just don't believe Joe's quite as strong. And we're halfway through this segment almost, so if it's going to come on, it better be coming on here pretty soon.
Yeah, he looks to be having a real problem there, keeping the truck down low on the racetrack. You can see Skinner is in 6th position, and it's just like he knows that's exactly where he's got to be, so he's got to stay focused in on that points title. Looking out the front glass of Joe Ruttman again.
Joe just not able to really hold his truck on the bottom there in the center of the corner and really loses a lot of ground right there.
He's moving by the lap truck of Kevin Harvick right now. And now you see Mike Skinner moving under Bill Sedgwick, and he may have a problem. Let's go to Steve Burns.
Yeah, we're down at Bill Sedgwick's pits. His truck has developed a tight condition, so he's washing out in the middle of the turns as well.
Yeah, we can see that from up here, talking about how high on the racetrack that he had to run the truck. Again, Ron Hornaday leading Ernie Irvin. 3rd place, Mike Bliss. 4th, Jeff Bodine. Sedgwick still hangs on to the 5th position, but he's dropping back rapidly. Mike Skinner's under him right now, and there is Hornaday. And you see Ernie Irvan, once they get into traffic, it looks like Ernie's able to pick up.
That's the thing, you know, here's the secret that's going on now is to who can work this traffic the best. Who's going to catch them in the corner, who might catch them on the straightaway. There you see Mike Skinner moving past Bill Sedgwick for 5th place.
Look at the traffic that the leader is in right now, going by Ray Daniels and Rick Johnson. Those are guys with very little experience. Ernie Irvan creeps right up behind him. 1 truck length separates them, that's all. But boy, once they got off the corner, it turned into about 6 truck lengths.
Yeah, Ernie maybe gets down in the corner a little bit better, but Hornaday gets up off the corner and up on the straightaway just a little bit better. Probably if you use a stopwatch, they may be running the exact same lap time. Just one's a little better at one part of the racetrack than the other.
Different way of doing it. You take a look at the top 5 there. They've got relatively clear racetrack now for the leaders. It's going to be a couple laps more before they catch some lap traffic, so we'll see if Ernie's able to close the distance. It's down to about 3 to 4 truck lengths right now. There you see Ray Daniels and Mike Chase has rejoined the fray out there, and truck number 1 got his brake problems repaired. Once again, Mike Skinner, followed by Ernie Irvan. I believe he's gaining on him.
There you see they've got 2 lap trucks to deal with coming up on the back straightaway. I almost think that Ernie maybe saved them tires a little bit, cooled them down after he drove from 5th to about 2nd. Now, you know, 46 laps to go, time to maybe see what he's got.
Well, at the same time as he may be gaining a little bit on Hornaday, Hornaday may be taking it easy too, letting him catch up. Sometimes you use that strategy. Well, let the guy catch me, make him run his truck a little harder, thinking he can pass me right now, and he say actually Hornaday may be saving his tires. So a lot of cat and mouse game going on out there.
Well, when you're leading the race and you have a tire situation like we have, there's no reason to try to drive off and put a straightaway on the 2nd place guy. Need to save those tires, have them there for the end of this race.
Got a problem up in turns 1 and 2. A lot of trucks sliding around. You see Ron Esau there, and wow, everybody missed everybody.
Mike Skinner has a 3rd close call for the day.
We got Steve Portengate spinning in the same spot. I got an idea there may be some fluid down. Yeah, there is oil on the track in turn 2. The caution is out right now. Ron Esau's truck, the white number 63, you see sitting down there, just now getting refired. But there's definitely fluid on the racetrack. NASCAR has put the caution out. We'll get that cleaned up.
You saw Mike Skinner go by. You got to believe he's wanting to say, guys, I'm just trying to run 6th here. Just leave me alone and stay clear of me.
Yeah, well, he's in 4th position. You see Esau with a flat left rear tire there. So now let's take a look at Mike Skinner and watch what happens here. You see the trucks get sideways down there. Mike Skinner gets into the back of Jeff Bodine. Of course, Bodine had gotten out of the throttle because Ron Esau and Rick Johnson had spun there. So that's another close call for Skinner. Now we'll take a look at that spin. You see Johnson in 0-1, 63 is Esau. Look at Mike Bliss go all the way to the wall to miss it. Bodine goes high. Skinner threads his way through the middle. Boy, that was close. We'll be back with more exciting action here from Mesa Marin. Things are hot and heavy. Mike Skinner running in 4th position right now, but man, it's been tough for him. Hang on, folks. We'll be back in a moment. Ernie Irvan is trying everything he can to get by Ron Hornaday on the outside. He almost did it. He got along beside of him, Larry, but just didn't have quite enough to pull it off.
You know, Ernie's truck's been working good on the bottom, but I'm not so sure it don't work maybe a little bit better about a half a lane up. He tried to really get a jump on Hornaday on the restart, and Hornaday's pulled away just a little bit. There you see Wayne Jacks spinning down the backstretch. He gets it going, and there's no caution on the raceway.
Now he spun down to the bottom again, and once again, no problem down there. Plenty of room down on the bottom of the backstretch down there. You see Ernie Irvan's truck again working that higher line than Hornaday. When they get into traffic is when Ernie seems to do the most with him. His truck seems to work just a little better under traffic conditions. Clear racetrack, Hornaday's able to hold him off, and look how low he was.
And Ernie Irvan, I believe himself, works good in traffic. I've seen times in a race where he'd get to a pack of cars and would actually pick up time on the stopwatch.
Folks, we'd like to tell you that race day will not be seen tonight. Normally it would be on after the race here, but following the Super Trucks here at Mesa Marin, we're going straight to the Professional Bull Riders Finals from Las Vegas, Nevada. So race day will not be seen tonight. Once again, Ernie climbs the bank there, but I feel like that's helping him save the tires. He's not turning the wheel quite as much.
It looks like he's really driving the truck down in the corner. That might be paying a little bit of a price in the center off. You know, he's going to have to find out just how deep he can drive it and still make the truck good grip and adhesion off the corner.
Once again, Ron Hornaday is leading. Ernie Irvin is second. Mike Bliss third. Mike Skinner is fourth. Jeff Bodine rides fifth right now. Let's take another look at Ron Hornaday come by. And wow, he had the left side tires off of the racetrack that time.
Ernie really makes up some ground getting in the corner, but Hornaday gets that bite off the corner and almost gets back what Ernie got getting in the corner.
It's almost like that what Hornaday is doing is getting into the corner a whole lot easier than normal so that he can accelerate up off of the corner. There were some changes made on Ernie's truck, or a few adjustments made at halftime. Let's go down to Steve Burns, see what they were.
Well, guys, I'll tell you what the mechanics told me, and you can interpret for the fans. Jimmy Smith said they put a rubber in the left front, a rubber out of the left rear, and 2 rounds in the right rear.
Well, it worked because Ernie Irvin has just taken the lead, and I know that's got to give you goosebumps, Larry.
Oh, it makes it really feel good. It's obvious Ernie did work on the pushing problem that truck had in the first segment, because all of those things that he did, soften the left rear, stiffen the left front, taking bite out, all those is to help the truck turn.
And I believe Hornaday's got a problem. His truck is a little bit off the pace. Mike Bliss just moved by him on the outside to take over second place. You see Ernie Irvin going into turn 3 there, all by himself except for Roger Mears. And Hornaday has got a problem. Definitely, it looks like he's got a tire down.
I believe that's the reason he was sliding backwards so bad.
Looks like maybe the right front tire might have gone down on the truck. Well, no, yeah, it is low. Yep, definitely right front. Look at the smoke. That is a tough break for Ron Hornaday.
He's going to have to get in the pits immediately.
We got a truck spun down there. That's truck number 79, Jimmy Dick. Third time he spun today. He's down in 1 and 2. This may be the break that Hornaday's looking for. The caution is out. We're going to take another look at what happened to Ron Hornaday. But he's definitely got a problem on the right front of the truck. You can see him. He's slowed down. He gets tagged in the rear, but that's just because by Mike Skinner, but that's just because he slowed so drastically going in. Does a great job, just barely nudges the wall with the right rear, but definitely I believe he's got a right front problem.
The truck would not turn at all, and he just barely got to stop it. With the truck not turning, that's definitely a sign that the right front was going soft on him.
And he gets a big break by the spin, or from the spin by Jimmy Dick, to put the field under caution to be able to make this stop. And as NASCAR Super Truck rules read, if he has a tire that's going down or flat, he can come in and change it without penalty. And Hornaday brings it down the pit road. Steve Burns is there with the story.
Glenn, I just talked to Doug Richard. He's going to the right. I think they may have some sheet metal rubbing. He's got a long crowbar. The right front was, in fact, down flat. You guys may have a better view of it from here. I obviously can't see the right side. Now the tire comes off. It's absolutely shredded.
Yeah, he's got considerable amount of tire marks on the right side. And you take a look at that tire, it's gone. Well, that used to be a tire.
They don't have to check the air pressure in that one.
No, you can read that without the gauge.
Do my jury.
We'll be back with further action here from Mesa Marin. Getting ready for another restart. Get the field back under green right after this. Here in field, Ernie Irvin setting the pace. Has charged all the way from 22nd position. Ron Hornaday had a tire problem there. He did get fortunate, caught a caution there. He did not lose a lap. He is buried back in the field right now. There's still 16 trucks on the lead lap, so he's got quite a ways to go to get back to the front. And we've got a spin down in turn 1. A lot of traffic there. That's Toby Butler in the Ortho Lawn and Garden Ford. I don't believe we're going to get a caution out of that. You see him take the access road, go right back, so no caution. Still underway. What a story. And look who has moved up into second. You see Toby Butler there. He's had a tough day so far today. Things just not to his liking. Watch this tremendous traffic. Toby goes in on the outside, makes it 3 wide, gets into Mike Chase. Chase turns sideways. Toby spins around. You can see he's got it locked up there. No further contact, no further damage. Still underway. And Mike Skinner in the black number 3 has moved into second place behind Ernie Irvin. Mike Bliss. You can see him come into the picture here just in a moment. He's running third. There's Bliss. So you got you got two Fords and a Chevy running up front. The Chevy is the meat in the sandwich right now. Ernie Irvin in a Ford, Mike Bliss in a Ford. Skinner is strong right now.
And Skinner's keeping his truck on the bottom of the racetrack, maybe getting a little better forward bite, but Ernie seems to still be pretty good on the straightaway, even though maybe he's not getting off the corner. There you see drifting high off of turn 4, but gets up on that straightaway, and that old Robert Yates engine really goes.
As Ernie Irvin continues to lead Mike Skinner, Jeff Bodine is pulling his truck into the pits. We'll get a story on that in just a moment. He's coming down pit road right now, but the action is fast and furious up front. I tell you, the guy that has really impressed me has been Mike Bliss. He had a top 5 finish here back in the spring, and he really has taken a liking to Bakersfield. He's been right up in the thick of things all day. Now here's Hornaday as he tries to make his way back through the field. He got under Todd Bodine there just momentarily, but couldn't take the position away. Larry, he could only change one tire. He changed the right front. Now we got a battle for the lead here. Mike Skinner has moved under Ernie Irvin, trying to take that first position away. And you got to know that Skinner wouldn't be doing that if this truck weren't absolutely perfect, because he's not going to take any chances today. Well,
he's really played a pretty safe race. You know, he's just kept his truck within the hunt, and now it's getting down to the last 18, 17 laps, and he's up there bidding for the lead.
Boy, and what a race this is. They come off of turn 4 side by side. 17 laps to go. Man, this one's going to be close right to the end. If either one of them make a mistake, you can see the pink and white Ford of Mike Bliss there, number 2, right behind him. He's just sitting there waiting. Come on, guys, bump. Make a mistake. I'm going to go right by you.
I'm sure he's sitting back here saying, okay, which guy's going to get the momentum here? Which one do I need to follow through?
Who do I follow? There's a Ford up there and a Chevy up there. I got a feeling he's probably banking on that Ford.
These trucks is given. They're just like they've got a rod run through them on a string around this racetrack. Mike Bliss sticking his nose underneath there.
Well, as these trucks run side by side, Larry, obviously it slows them down just a little bit, backs things up. Bliss is able to sit there and look at Mike Bliss right on the bottom. Now Skinner takes the position away. He takes the lead going down the backstretch. Mike Bliss dives in under Ernie Irvin. He's trying to take over second.
Mike Bliss's truck really working good on the bottom again. Ernie's truck just not staying down from the center off of the corner.
I don't care what they say. It's been a great day for Ernie Irvin, a great day for NASCAR Super Truck Racing. Look at Bliss, how low he was there. It's almost like he hangs the inside of the left side tires down against that pavement.
You know, sometimes, Glenn, when a truck's maybe not turning like it should, that's the way to go ahead and make it turn. Is hook those tires on the inside of the racetrack there, and that'll let it go ahead and get a bite off the corner.
I did that on go-karts on my bicycle. I didn't know you could do it in a race truck. I busted my face on that bicycle. That's why my nose is so big. Now you see the front 3. Mike Skinner, Ernie Irvin, Mike Bliss. Now Irvin dives down to the bottom of the racetrack again. He has held off Mike Bliss. Bliss got under him, but and now we've got a report that Ron Hornaday has had an engine expire on him. Hornaday had worked back. You see him coming down pit road. He had worked his way back to 7th place in the running order. And it looks like it's all over for Hornaday today. He will not repeat in Bakersfield. But now that truck is still running. This is another tire problem. So and they're going to the right front again. They got some kind of problem that's cutting a tire. They've lost air in the right front tire again.
There's so much sheet metal damage there around that right front. I'm sure somewhere in the corner where the tire is turned and the truck's at full load, it's just rubbing that tire, maybe on the inside and cutting it down.
He lost at least one lap, and we're sorry to have frightened you Ron Hornaday fans out there. We got a preliminary report that he had an engine problem. Fortunately, it turned out just to be a tire, but it is still, with only 10 laps to go, he'll never be able to make it back into the top 10. Tough break for Ron Hornaday. He led the most laps today, but he will not win. And there is the leader, Mike Skinner. Skinner told me yesterday, I said, Mike, how you getting around here? Man, we're awful. We're terrible. You know, I'm just going to have to sit out there and ride and take what comes to me. I don't know if I'm ever going to believe any of these guys anymore or not.
You know, Mike Skinner has surprised everybody, myself included. There's not a racetrack on the Super Truck Series, including the 2 road courses, that he has not gotten around good. That's a big tribute to him and that Richard Childress team.
Absolutely. You know, he told me something else yesterday. He says he missed a shift in Tucson earlier in the year and blew the engine for one of his few DNFs of the year. He was all apologetic to the team. And Will Lynn, the team manager, told him and said, hey, he said, you didn't do that, said the team did that. He said, now if you make a great move on the last lap and win the race, he said, then the team did that, you didn't do that. That's the way we look at this thing. He moves around the Total Petroleum truck of Rick Pirelli to put him a lap down. And right now, it looks like Mike Skinner's race. Ernie Irvin's still running second, but Skinner's pretty comfortable, but they're getting into some heavy traffic. You can see him move underneath of Wayne Jackson, the number 58 there, but I don't know. He's awfully tough right now.
That's the thing. With 6 laps to go, what Mike Skinner's got to do here is he's got to work these lap trucks just right. He's got to make sure he don't get himself in trouble.
Now, what this will do, if Skinner should go on and win, it will eliminate Ron Hornaday, probably eliminate Ron Hornaday from having a chance at the title. So that means when we get to Phoenix, it will only be settled between Mike Skinner and Joe Ruttman. 5 laps to go. Mike Skinner motors his way around very carefully through the traffic. As soon as he clears Roger Mears' truck here, he's going to have a little clean racetrack in front of him. There's Ernie Irvin. Right on his bumper is Mike Bliss. You can see how careful Skinner is being in traffic, taking no chances whatsoever.
Really a good battle for second. Mike Bliss is not giving up. Ernie just holds the preferred line, catches the lap trucks, and goes around, and Mike Bliss has to follow him.
I think this is the way that Ernie likes it. This way there's no letting off, no backing off at all. Not that he would, but with Bliss pressuring for second, he keeps pouring the coals on it, trying to run Skinner down for the lead.
Now, next time by, there'll be 2 to go. You know, pull all the stops out. How the tires go from here, it don't matter. You just got to get everything you can out of those trucks.
Tremendous battle, and Skinner has completely clear racetrack in front of him. I'm not sure that he will reach another lap truck. You can see the distance there. He will get the white flag this time by, excuse me, next time by, so only 2 laps to go. I'm not sure if he'll catch that traffic or not. If he does, it's just the 1 truck, or the 0-1 truck of Rick Johnson. Johnson will get down out of the way, give him plenty of room for the race leader.
You can see Ernie and Mike Bliss's trucks, they really slow down in the center of the corner. This is a sign that, hey, my tires has got 100 laps on them. I'm doing all I can do.
They're not tired, folks, but those racing tires by Goodyear are right now. They put them through the test today, just a couple of laps ago. And Mike Bliss moves on the inside of Ernie Irvin going down the backstretch. They're running up on some lap traffic. Bliss moves up high on the racetrack. What a great battle for second. Ernie breaks it loose coming off the corner. They get the white flag. And it looks like Bliss may have the second position. He does. He moves by Irvin to take it from him. And that was close at the finish.
Definitely was a photo finish, but Mike Bliss got the momentum coming off turn 4 and held Ernie off for second place.
What a great day for Mike Skinner. He came here just needing to finish 6th. He goes on and wins the race in an absolutely flawless performance. We'll be back to talk to him in Victory Lane when we return. Has roared to his 7th victory of the year. We'll go down to Victory Lane for the interview, brought to you by Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, longest lasting trucks on the road. Let's go down to Victory Lane. Steve Burns.
Mike Skinner, congratulations. Hey, you told Glenn Jarrett yesterday that you guys weren't hooked up. How'd you do it?
I'll tell you, this crew, they're the best. We went and slept on it last night, changed 2 springs and front bar and back bar and bike and a little bit of everything on the chassis setup, and so we're going to roll the dice. And we came here, we was hooked up right off the trailer, but it wasn't all that fast. And you know, if I remember last time, the fast truck didn't win, the most consistent truck did. So this morning we decided to put that setup back under it, and I'll tell you, this GM Goodwrench Service Chevrolet, she's a strong piece. I'll tell you, Eddie Lanier, thank you, man. You and Robert done a super job for me. All the guys back at the shop, all the Winston Cup crew, you guys have really done me a good job this year, and I just want you to know I appreciate it. And hi, honey.
Mike, you guys are 1 step closer to that first NASCAR Super Truck Championship.
Well, we were just hoping we could, you know, beat Joe here. You know, if we got beat by him, we didn't want to lose more than a couple spots. And every time I got up there, somebody'd spin out and we'd get sent back to the back, and it was a struggle, I'll tell you. And had to use a lot of truck and a lot of brakes, and they just put enough truck under me to get the job done. I'll tell you, these guys are super.
Well, congratulations, Mike.
Thank you much.
And he was exactly right, Larry. He had, I can think of at least 3, maybe 4 really close calls on the racetrack. It was not an easy win.
You know, that's the way you see that 3-car do it on that Winston Cup circuit. They always have the close call, but they always seem how to come through. And, you know, I've read a lot of papers and heard a lot of comments that this team is just running for the championship and not trying to win, just trying to finish. But last few laps didn't look like a truck that wasn't trying to win to me.
Absolutely not. And now we're going to go back down trackside. Steve Burns is with a guy who has made a tremendous comeback, put on a terrific show here for the fans here at Bakersfield and nationwide. Steve?
Well, Glenn, Ernie Irvan didn't win this race, but boy, what an inspiring run. Put a lot of lumps in the throats. Ernie, great run, man.
I tell you, we had a great day, you know. Like I said earlier, you know, basically when everybody was at home and they were running the Winston West race, we were the only crew here working, and we were making new tailpipes and doing everything we could do to get this truck to run a little faster. And, you know, the guys did all the work, you know, Napa United, sponsors, and Texaco. It's real exciting, you know, for them, and, you know, hopefully we'll have a future to come.
Ernie, you guys made a lot of changes at the break. Did that help?
Yeah, we definitely picked it up. You know, I mean, basically I was about a 6th or 7th place truck, and the pieces that we changed during the break, you know, really helped.
Well, you continue to answer questions. How about next week at Rockingham?
I'm real excited. You know, we had a great test down there. You know, just spent 2 days and ran a lot of laps, and just, you know, I think we had our car working really good. And, you know, I don't know if it's going to qualify super good, but I think it's going to be great for the race.
Well, congratulations. You're a fighter. Back upstairs to Glenn and Larry.
And our congratulations to Ernie as well. What a terrific job he did. After today's race, this is how the point standings are. Mike Skinner, 3,044. Joe Ruttman, 2,956. That means that Skinner has an 88-point lead. He has eliminated Ron Hornaday from the possibility of winning the points championship. Butch Miller is 4th. Jack Sprague is 5th. So when we go to Phoenix in 2 weeks, the championship will come down to Mike Skinner and Joe Ruttman. Of course, Skinner winning here today, followed by Mike Bliss, Ernie Irvan, Jack Sprague, and Joe Ruttman finished 5th today. So he is still alive as far as the championship hopes go. Now, one guy who has to be disappointed about today's outcome, Steve Burns, is with Ron Hornaday.
Ron, tough luck today. What happened?
Well, I tell you, Doug Richards and the guys got this Papa John Chevy running great, and we were just babing the tires right there, and I don't know, there's a lot of debris. I must have got something on the front tire and popped it and got into the fence. And come back by, I tried to catch that yellow and drug the sway bar arm off, and just popped it again halfway through. But I tell you, they put a good truck underneath me. Mesa Marin's been a great track for us, but hey, we'll be back next week. I got to say hi to everybody out there. Dale, Teresa, we tried and didn't beat it up that bad, so we'll get it ready for Phoenix next week.
Okay, Ron, best of luck. And by the way, Ron Hornaday will run the Busch race at Rockingham next week.
Yeah, we've got a couple of guys looking forward to next weekend at Rockingham. A lot of people. We can't wait to get there. Now remember, folks, race day will not be seen tonight. We've had racing action all day long. We're just out of time, so we won't be able to bring you race day. We're going directly to the professional bull riders in Las Vegas, Nevada when we leave here. Now a guy who put on a great run right there at the end, charged to 2nd place. Steve Burns is with Mike Bliss.
Mike, boy, great run. You came from behind there to take 2nd place. How'd you do it?
Just trying to conserve the tires there at the end. When Ernie and Skinner were running side by side, they were using their tires out more than I was, and I was trying to save them and stay up with them. So there at the end, we had a little more tire there left, and maybe we did, you know, I don't know. Traffic was a factor there at the end, but I'm just tickled to death, you know. I mean, we didn't have Barry with us. I wish you were here, Barry. We made one more spot, would have been better, but we did it. Our guys worked hard, you know, and I want to thank Ultra Wheels, ASE Ford, you know, for putting me in the truck, and I mean, we did all right today. I'm pretty happy.
Mike, Larry McReynolds said earlier in the race how much confidence a win can give a driver, especially a young driver like yourself. How did North Wilkesboro help your confidence?
I've raced a lot of things, and the first win is always your hardest win. Then after that, they come easier. Because you get that confidence built up, you know, I can run with these guys, I feel like, you know, and that's what happens when you win. You feel like you can run with them. So then you got a little bit of, you know, you got that riding on your shoulders.
Obviously enough confidence to let you run door handle to door handle with Ernie Irvan.
Yeah, that was fun. That was a good time coming out of turn 4. I felt like I was on dirt, you know. We just hung it out, and I think tack was turning about 9 grand coming out of there.
Okay, thanks a lot, Mike. Good run.
Thanks.
I think he's excited, Larry. What a great job he did. We're going to take a break. We'll be back to wrap things up here at Bakersfield. Terrific day for Mike Skinner as he goes to his 7th victory of the year. One more race to go in the series. We'll bring it to you from Phoenix in 2 weeks. Together, we'll be live from Rockingham, North Carolina. Saturday, October 21st, the AC Delco 200 for the Busch Grand National cars, live on TNN. That begins, as I said, at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Then on Sunday, more racing from the Rock, the AC Delco 400. That starts at 12:30 p.m. Larry McReynolds, you'll be there also, but not with TNN.
Well, I'll be there on Saturday with you guys working the Busch race. But, you know, this has been a great race here today at Bakersfield. I never had been to Bakersfield, and the weather's beautiful. The crowd was great. Wow, what's some competitive racing. And, you know, it's sad for Ron Hornaday. Led 106 laps and just didn't work out at the end. Ernie Irvin finishing third. I think the Super Truck Series by Craftsman is here to stay.
Oh, absolutely. As you're taking a look at the unofficial results there, Ron Hornaday will pick up the Plasticoat, the Vent Visor Laps Led Award. That's a $500 bonus that he will get, and he really closed the gap that Mike Skinner had on him for that season-ending $5,000 bonus. Speaking of Mike Skinner, let's go down to talk to his truck owner, Richard Childress.
Well, Richard Childress has won a bunch of Winston Cup races and Winston Cup championships, but what do you think about this truck deal, Richard? Exciting race today.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great race all day long. To watch Ernie and Mike race there hard at the end, and the whole racing all day long. I was watching right in front of them. There was like 4 trucks side by side just getting after it, and they were racing for a position. That's the way this series has been all years. It's a great series.
Now, Richard, I've seen you nervous on pit road when Dale's racing. Do you have the same emotions here for the truck series?
Well, yeah, really I do. You know, I think I get a little more nervous here because all this is new to us, but you know, it's a lot of fun being involved with Mike Skinner and this whole team. You know, it's a young team, and they're really out having a good time.
Okay, it seems like you are too, Richard.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
And again, our congratulations to Richard Childress and the whole Mike Skinner team. Absolutely fantastic job. Once again, we'll remind you we'll be going directly here from Mesa Marin to the Bud Light Cup Professional Bull Riders Finals from Las Vegas. We will not be able to bring you race day. We've raced all day long, folks. We're a little bit tired, so no race day tonight.
No, Glenn, I believe if they put a bulldozer series together, Richard Childress would figure out how to assemble the driver and assemble a group of guys to try to win that championship. And you know what's got to be on their mind? I know winning the championship is important, but nobody can ever take away that their names would go in the record book as the first Super Truck Series champions.
Oh, absolutely. And you know, another thing that that all these guys are looking for, the manufacturers have gotten behind this so much, they're posting awards. The highest finishing truck in the series standings at the end of the year, both are from all three, from Ford, from Dodge, and from Chevrolet. Each guy will receive a $5,000 bonus. So, you know, you're talking about that tussle. Mike Skinner looks like if he wins it, obviously, he'll get it for Chevrolet.
You know, not only is the competition getting great in this series, but you just talk about all these awards. The awards just keep escalating, and when they go to that banquet in San Francisco, there's going to be some strong dollars passed out.
Oh, absolutely. We were happy to be here at Bakersfield today. This has been one of the most exciting. I've heard a lot about this place. It's my first time here also, and we likened it. You folks that were tuned in on TNN all afternoon, you saw the All-Pro race from Nashville. This place looks very similar to Nashville. The excitement, the racing action, just as good as at Nashville Raceway.
And you know, I asked why Mesa Marin. How did it get its name? Is this the county we're in or what? And I guess one of the first investors in this racetrack that was with the Collins family, his daughter was named Mesa Marin. When he went away, the Collins says, why change the name? So for 22 years, it's been called Mesa Marin.
Well, how do you find this stuff out, Larry? And I missed that completely. I didn't have any idea. I thought there was a big mesa out there somewhere. We've had fun, folks. We appreciate you joining us here today on TNN for a full day of racing activity. I'm Glenn Jarrett saying so long for Larry McReynolds, who's been along with me in the booth. Thanks for your help, Larry. See you next week at Rockingham. Steve Burns, outstanding job in the pits down there today. Kept us up to date as to everything that was going on. Remember, Professional Bull Riders Rodeo from Las Vegas coming up next. We've had a fun day here. Be in tune on TNN next week from Rockingham. More NASCAR racing action. For all the crew, this is Glenn Jarrett saying so long, everybody.